So today's lesson is on the quantitative composition of substances. So remember guys, for chemistry, substances, no, I'm a woman of substance. There isn't substance in what you're telling me. Oh no, that is a substance. No, this one, when you hear the word substances, we are referring to elements and compounds, especially compounds. So the composition of compounds is an important concept in chemistry. Very. So most of the times we are dealing with relationships among elements and compounds in what are called the chemical equations. So we'll look at that. I promise you that we'll do nomenclature of acids. I've just thought when we're learning acids, bases, and salts in that topic, we'll look at common ones. But for out of curiosity, you can start analyzing some of those names of the common acids like sulfuric, hydrochloric, sati tuichula sana vyakulaita hydrobromic. No, we don't do that nomenclature that much unless we're applying is to something. So the mole is the SI unit of the quantity of the substance. I'm sure you remember when we're mentioning the 7 base quantities, which are the 7 fundamental quantities, the quantity of the substance also featured there, and its unit was the mole. It is like it's an amount of a unit. It's a group of things. That's what the mole is. Like when you say we're a pair, or a pair of shoes, meaning there are 2 shoes there. A dozen of eggs, meaning there are 12. Dozen is 12. Then if you remember, bante babomfya bena gross ba 144,000 mkwai. So 144 is gross. A group of 144 is gross. So the mole is a group like that. It's an amount that contains a certain number of entities. So that's the way it is. So these ones, when we say the dozen, what they just guide us in that. So the mole is defined as an amount of a substance containing the same number of discrete entities, meaning the same number of particles. They can be atoms, molecules, ions, even electrons. You can have the mole of electrons. Because some people get lost when they hear the mole of electrons, because in the definition. If something is not then it becomes my fault as the person who's explaining, because everything that you want to know, you want it to come from me. But now I'm giving you the power. Go and read further as well. So now, it contains the same number of elementary particles or discrete entities. Whatever discrete entities were under discrete entities. Not discrete entities, then elementary particles, no. Discrete entities, which are atoms, molecules, ions, electrons. There can even be a more of protons, though protons don't really participate in anything in chemistry except radioactivity. So the same number of those as the number of atoms of 12 grams of pure carbon-12, or of the same number of discrete entities as the number of atoms in a sample of pure carbon-12. So ngamamanaka 12 kali pamu difference in carbon-12. You can even write carbon-12, meaning carbon with mass number 12, weighing exactly 12 grams. So 12 grams of carbon-12 contains a mole of atoms, of carbon atoms. So those are the things. So there is a link now with a mole. If you want to say, guys, 1 mole is equal to 6.022 times 10 to the power 23 entities. 6.022 times 10 to the power 23 atoms or molecules or ions or electrons. So those are the things that are there. So what epimefini Avogadro, Italian chemist, Amadeo Avogadro, ewa pendele amanana atoms ayaba mulinanya. It can take you forever to count, but umwene kachofa as happened. So these are the things. So this is the actual number, the actual number 6.022. This is very big. If it's money, guys, no pointer chemistry. It's very big times 10 to the power 23. Tetratrillion, guys. I'm a zero. I'm a zero. Number 2 atoms to the land up. So the value for it's not that much. You can see. So those are things. So if something is power 23, it means it's very big. Meaning, if you know, power 3 is simply 1,000. Power 3 in 1,000. Power 6 in a million. Number we're talking power 23. Guys. Ngalukwete mpya eshikushirako abana n'abeshikuru gashali n'endalamu. N'abeshikuru b'abeshikuru nabena basadi yako. So this one we report, so this one, the Avogadro's constant, we report it as per mole, meaning you can say atoms per mole. That's Avogadro's constant, atoms per mole, electrons per mole. So the units are used mostly as per mole. So that's a case. There's a definition on a certain more, is the SI unit of the chemical entity, such as atoms, electrons, or protons, is defined as the amount of substance that contains as many particles as there are atoms in 12 grams of pure carbon 12. This is beautiful English. English. So that's how we come. So that's for you, it's an amount of substance that contains as many particles as there are atoms in 12 grams of carbon 12. Then for you, that is the more Nshwasanga. So guys, otherwise, I was impressed with Edward and his humility when he just said, I'm just trying. I'm just trying. I'm just trying. There was a time I was very humble. But upon the fish So now, guys, these things, so we should be consistent in defining the amount. Remember, one mole contains the same number of atoms as one mole of any other element. So one mole of an element, or one mole of any element. So any consistency, if they have a pop. One mole of any element contains the same number of atoms as one mole of any other element. Meaning, when you say you have one mole of copper and one mole of, we'll say, lithium, nishama particles ya moyene. Kai one mole na tuisho faide epitibola. So mfide moeshiba. Though the masses of the one moles will be different. The masses of the one moles will be what? Different. The mass of one mole of the substance is called the molar mass. The mass in grams of one mole of the substance is called the molar mass. That's very okay. So so the molar mass is the mass of one mole of a substance. So the molar mass to us, guys, is the average atomic mass which we could say the average isotopic mass of an element for an element with the gram as the unit. Even to abundances, remember when we did that exercise for abundances, when you find the average mass now for in AMU, it was atomic mass unit. Now you remove the atomic mass unit, you put the gram as the unit. Then what you have is the molar mass. So now what do we get for the molar mass? Where do we get the molar mass for an element? It is simply that very mass on the periodic table. On your periodic table, in the mass, you add the gram there, then that is your molar mass. But if someone asks you what define molar mass, you say it's the mass of one mole of a substance. If you know it is the average of Shan. If you are the average, it is just there now to help us get it. When we want to get the molar mass, where do we go? We have to go to the periodic table. So for a compound, the molar mass can be calculated by adding the standard atomic masses in grams per mole of the constituent atoms. So when you're adding now, go with the H2O, you get Him molar mass in 1. Now in BH molar mass in 1. So for hydrogen it's 2 plus oxygen is 16. So you're going to have something like averagely 18 grams per mole for water. So that's how you work out the molar mass. You have to know the formula. That's why we said to write a formula is a skill you must possess. Mufire mwako ataira skill guys, ukulemba formula. Not kulembea bufya sana imwe muleba fye bwino. Someone has quoted me when I was just starting my work. Anshin, kapale yini ya formula. Sani mbikapo kao apashoa. Fimo fine fi. Kunshi ndiko kusamshanisha ndenda ndako kusitimaka no kumere nyama. Nshinda kumere nyama kuda munanshindika. Amshana bo post office adedi la. Adeti no kwa. So those are the scenarios. You must be very careful when you're writing these things. So there's just an emphasis, moles, electrons, shan. Turefite overemphasize, otherwise it's kunarit kakali. At our level to scale number, you have known everything there can be. So all we want to say is that it can either be atoms, molecules, or ions. A number expression to summarize it up. Summarize the one more of atoms, 6.022 times 10 to the power 23 atoms. One more of molecules, 6.022 times 10 to the power 23 molecules. One more of ions, 6.022 times 10 to the power 23 ions. One more of electrons, 6.022 times 10 to the power 23 electrons. So those are the things. Then the emphasis again on the fact that the average mass in AMU, nga wafumya ko AMU, wabika ko gram. Mwayumva oba chibusa wafumya ko AMU, wabika ko gram. Nishwa kwata molar mass. Kufaya Fiadi na kef guys. Magnesium is that average there, grams. 22.99 grams. Let me give you some insight. You don't have to be very specific unless the question has given you this. Except for copper and chlorine, the rest you can round off. E.g. magnesium you can just say 24. It's very acceptable. Hydrogen you can just say 1, very acceptable. Sodium you can say 23. It's very acceptable. We accept corresponding. I love corresponding myself. 1 mole corresponds to 1 molar mass. X corresponds to this. You cross multiply. That makes sense for me. Because I've been corresponding, we have all been corresponding in our lives. We've been corresponding since grade 5, so you correspond. Remember, guys, If in the chemistry, that's why we want to know. We want to a lot of shamo pencil. Wash what you want to. Really ante menwe. Adeshta ifi. Umba pambo kunshitira tute. What does it mean? Fe bantu alea keg mukudya plata. Numba pa na ichinja. Ndekala nensala. Nishi. You correspond wash but even nothing. The chemistry it has gone. The chemistry it has disappeared in your relationship. Anyway, moment in memory by each. Kakula wana bazala, dad, basa basanda, bama relationship, dad. Mukulu wansalanda, dad. So we correspond a lot. For our level, for chemistry at our level, they encourage the what? So the next lesson to answer my equations. First, after we do equations, what I will do is go to unbox of I also be corresponding like I'm doing in physics. Physics in them is over a pen handwriting now agree it is and now quite a number. So I also be trying the same for your chemistry at Africa party level number paka ituma moz guys nangundo naula ink sure I'm a moz. So the first example is moles of iron. 25 grams of iron. How many moles is that? 25 grams of iron. How many moles of iron does 25 grams of iron represent? So you go to periodic table. The one that we have here is saying molar mass. The molar mass for iron is 55.85 grams. So if you are corresponding, you can say 1 mole corresponds to 55.85 grams. Okay, you're looking for moles, then you can say X equals 25. You can say that. But what we're trying to say is that you can get this 25 grams and multiply it by a ratio. And that ratio must have the gram down. Gram iron. So the molar mass could be a punch when you're multiplying. Then this molar mass corresponds to 1 mole. 1 mole per mole. What it's corresponding to is what you put on top. Then you cancel the gram. You should make sure that the one you have is numerator. Then the conversion factor you have, the value for mass is denominator. Then you cancel. So you just divide. I'll give you the triangle as well, the next lesson. The triangle that relates moles to molar mass. It just says N equals mass over molar mass. That triangle is the most useful. Why? Because when you use a triangle, everything fit up falling into place. So I'll do the triangle for you next time. Yeah. So that's how it is. So this is how you get 0.448 moles iron. That's how it is. I'm sure some of you are bored. You dig this in grade 10. Then in college. Then how many magnesium atoms? Sorry guys, the internet is almost tripping, but it'll be fine. How many magnesium atoms are contained in 5 grams magnesium? How many magnesium atoms are contained in 5 grams of what? Magnesium. So the mention of atoms should bring back Avogadro's number. In fact, atoms correspond to Avogadro's number. Because Avogadro's number equal to 6.022 times 10 to the power 23 atoms. My mother. So you write them. So we said in this case now, the molar mass of magnesium contains 6.02 times 10 to the power 23 atoms. So when you're corresponding, when you write the conversion factor, 5 grams magnesium, your conversion factor which you are multiplying by, what should be the denominator should also be a gram, the molar mass. So you write 24.31 grams magnesium. So this one and that one cancel. Then pamuropo become atoms because the answer you want to get are atoms. So pamudo you put the Avogadro's number. So what you get is 1.24 times 10 to the power 23 atoms magnesium. My years are it. Moya zana ni social element. And guys, moya zana ni zindangwa. Yeah, so these are the things. What mass in grams? What is the mass in grams of one atom of carbon? Imagine, guys, one atom of carbon. No. So even the mass must be extremely small. Even the mass must be extremely small. So since we have one atom, Doris, you want to say something? Doris, do you want to say something?
No, sir, sorry.
Okay. So one atom, not quite an atom. You remember, if you atom, you may have Avogadro's number. So when you're writing your conversion factor now, the Avogadro's number should be at the bottom. So that the atom and the atom there cancels. If it was molecules, nishinena hapa kuisa vikapo molecules. Number since ni atoms, so napa ni atoms. So 12 grams, which is carbon. It should in fact be 12.00, not in everybody become book, which natural 12 grams, 12.01. Okay, they are taken into consideration. Dotma, tumana nutuno to carbon, tuma isotopes, carbon 14, carbon 13. So when you do average, it comes to 12.01. So that's how it is. So this one cancels with that one. You multiply what is at the bottom or what's on top, then divide what's at the bottom. You make sure that when you're dividing what's at the bottom, this is in brackets. You make sure that this is in brackets. On your calculator, there's that EXP. Some of you it's just E. Mobama cash punch pala before equals E. Then mobama sharp. Kaba pesa kaba kuside juku left EXP. It means times 10 to the power. It means times 10 to the power. Go and look it up. Go and look it up. If you don't know it that much, the next lesson I'll come with a calculator and guide. I can't just move for a calculator just to explain EXP. So that's how it is. So when you work this one out, it's 1.994 times 10 to the power negative 24 grams carbon. Ngataubikira hili denominator ma brackets, you will find positive power. Ukafumolea mfano bwino. Nishikanisha usangire. There's a very big difference between the negative power and the positive power. That's how it is. Then forgive me here, guys. This should be times 10 to the power 23. This should be times 10 to the power 23. So what is the mass of 3.01 times 10 to the power 23 atoms of sodium? So if we have times 10 to the power 23, please, you bear with me. Bear with me. So what is a mass? So upon the mass, molar mass, Avogadro's number. That's what should appear in your conversion factor because you have mass and atoms. So you're going to say 3.01 times 10 to the power 23 atoms, sodium. Then you write your conversion factor. You make sure that atoms are at the bottom, which is Avogadro's number, the molar mass on top. Then this one and that one cancels. You multiply what is on top, divide by what's at the bottom. At this juncture, it's very acceptable to do your math very cleverly. You can even cancel the 23 here and the 23 there. So it's 11.5 times 10, 11.5 grams sodium. Why? Because in our cancer, kanshika. Go therefore. But just multiply the things on top, divide what's at the bottom. So that's what it is. So number 5. We're number 4, number 5. The same things, guys. Very monotonous stuff. What is the mass of 0.252 more copper? What is the mass of 0.252 more copper? So more and mass, it means you say 1 more corresponds to 1 molar mass in your relationship. So 0.252 more copper, conversion factor, punch wabika po 1 more copper. Pamuru wabika po molar mass ya copper. So 3.55 grams wasangana answer. 16 grams wasanga. So this is the way it is. Ikosele kufe pano nomba. How many oxygen atoms are present in 1 mole of oxygen molecules? Na ikosa. Why we are deleting atoms and molecules? The molecules of oxygen is that's a reminder that oxygen exists as a diatomic molecule. Then molecule diatomic mbama atoms yabiri. So that's why you've seen a relationship like that. So the first thing you get are atoms. First of all, you get molecules because you got 1 more of molecules. You get molecules because you're looking for atoms. So you will say 1 more oxygen, which is O2, wabika 1 more panshi, Avogadro's number, more molecules per mole. What comes up? Then you remind yourself again. So you have to create an extra conversion table, which says in 1 molecule, there are 2 atoms. So whatever answer that you got here, you multiply it by 2. That's the jinx. So you get 1.2 times 10 to the power 24 in Shwasanga. Otherwise, guys, this is it. Edward, these answers are legit. On point, sir. Mwaimbara. Kai paripana question ya mass 18. What is the mass of 1 mole of sulfuric acid? The mass of 1 mole of sulfuric acid is the molar mass. All you do is work it out. Edward found it. So now mwisho Edward Munandi wakumalawi. So these are great works. Keep up, guys. I loved the fact that palina imbia mass 18. Ama questions aingi mass 18. Tene setting ayo nkopolola fief. So the other one was mass 18 on def 1. How many moles of sodium hydroxide are there in 1 kg of sodium hydroxide? Imagine 1 kg. So ngata uchenjere number this guy fana chimpele na kuboko ni mutasha sana hapa. You have slayed. You haven't just tried but slayed. Namwe ni mulesha ko ngaramire mberapo. Kinwa munemwe bafeka. Mwana musanga na musanga. Proxy miebako. So kg, guys, kilogram is 1,000 grams. Remember that when you're doing our stoichiometry, we use grams. My guys, we use grams. So that's the reason why I was very impressed. He remembered. So that we divide the 1,000 over the 40 for sodium hydroxide. You get 25 moles. So these are the scenarios. How many moles? Moles is mass over molar mass. I'm sure you remember that. So I'll put the triangle there. These things, more concepts, some of you, there's just a natural love for chemistry. So those of you who love chemistry, you even have better methods of doing these things. It's very acceptable. When I teach you a concept, does not mean I'm formatting you to just be doing the things my way. It just means I have an alternative, but if your alternative is better and you are comfortable with it, you continue to use it. I'm not imposing methods on you. I won't even ask you to say, do you use correspond? I won't be annoyed with you for doing what you believe is working for you. So continue to believe yourself. Moffat.
Yes, I've got a question on the same tricky question that you said.
Yeah, 1,000. Yeah, 1 kg.
Yeah, last. Not on the practice, on the examples that you gave.
Yes, this one.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
You said we should multiply the answer by 2 at the end. Why should we multiply it by 2?
Correspondence na katika the boy Moffat upper. The way they solved, they said 1 more. First of all, you get molecules. 1 more, then you get molecules. Kai, what you are given is 1 more of molecules. You are given 1 more of molecules in the equation. So you say 1 more, then on your conversion factor, you put 1 more pans, which cancels with that one. Therefore, then pamulu pabama molecules. Then one molecule, here oxygen, here O2, ikwatama atoms yabiri. That's the reason why. It's not just that forward molecule in times two. Collocation molecule. You get it, eh? So if it was molecule say of water, would have multiplied 3 because there is 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. I'm sure you've seen. So if someone just said how many atoms are in say 1 mole of water, would have said it will be kefine, then we would have said 1 molecule of water has 3 atoms, but we would not have specified what they are because there is 2 of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen. All right, very brilliant question, Moffat. Yeah, guys, let's let learning take place. I was asking that vambi mwadikala fezi nishi muprova kewa mnana mkuyumfu balila ndama guys mklasi fonatu yikala fe washinatu yikala fe natu ichai na fikunde fiulisha fi bade sabaira zonwa nitapata form mfide tapata form mfide but ule braga you're braggadociously claiming ubupondo. Tafia kwate ubupondo. It's just to know them. Tafia kwate ubupondo. No, adi furobo ininchi karafi no. That's the thing. So these are practice. You continue to practice them. Looking at the examples. Chemistry is very simple, guys. But hands. Looking at these things, these are very simple compared to physics. Chemistry is very simple compared to physics, but the simplicity in chemistry is what complicates things sometimes. So remember, guys, that 1 mole is 1 molar mass. Molar mass is a gram. The molar mass is the mass on your periodic table, or you can a gram for an element. For a compound, you add what if you have sulfuric acid. So it goes to sulfuric acid here. What's a mass of 1 mole sulfuric acid? So hydrogen ni 1. So 2 times 1, 2. Sulfur is 32. Wabika plus 32. So 2 plus 32 plus 4 times oxygen per periodic power 16. 8 times 16. Then wasanga. The answer is definitely 98 grams per mole. So mfide mwapya ukula fite mananifi. Ngawalimba formula yabo fi nishina chemistry yonse yalula. Yalula ngomuti, ngomunsoka. Yalula, ilalula fe obubi. Nishalula fenge kurolo kwenu. So those are the scenarios. Then moles mass, I said I'll give you a triangle, but apangana water 5 moles water, while multiply times the conversion table, which you say 1 mole, in mass to refer 1 mole, then pamurubika pamola mass ya water, which is 18. We multiply 5 times 18, yumunesu asangena tusangera kukalimunesu. So the answer there is 90. Yeah. I was expecting that it goes as far as these others also. Keep up the good work, guys. I'm very impressed. Have you understood, guys? Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is Zoom has Zoom become compulsory? You know, have I ever told you that Zoom is just an initiative? The college doesn't even know we're doing it. When I bit of family study master, they couldn't. They auditing us. They were auditors on study master. So act very well on study master. They participate to show that we are learning. Because when you are being audited, we need to be seen that there's activity. Momvale?
Yes, sir.
Guys. It's a sacrifice you are making, and believe you me, you are learning so much as well in your own time. So let's make sure we learn, because you people for once your phone has become an important gadget. Phone para bye school. Abengi abantu phone papa WhatsApp pushan, but you guys just school and all. It's very progressive. Let's keep up, guys. I haven't mentioned any test. Don't be scared of any test. When I see that we're not ready to write something, an exercise or something, I'll tell you in advance, a week before, if not 2 weeks. A week before, I'll tell you. We even debate it together. So that's how it is. Don't panic here. I'm here to help you. You're also here to help me. Let's make this happen. So go through, guys, get your periodic table, staple it in your book, write the formulas that we've written here somewhere, summarize your work, and do your thing. Enjoy your day. Sharp, sharp. Mambo, guys.